How are you? You all right?
Fantastic, man. How are you?
Yeah, like I say, not too bad. Have you got a good social distance game? Got the long arm out.
The Heisman Trophy, the Drake, right? Yeah, man. It's been cool, man. It's actually despite like all the uncertainty and kind of fear that is prevalent in society right now, for me, it kind of like the silver lining in all this is that I get to spend so much time home with my kids. I've never spent this much time at home ever with my family over the past 15 years, even before like being a father. I would never be home for weeks at a time with my wife. Like there'd always be, an appearance or going to a live event or whatever. So for me, knowing that the situation is going to go back to normal at some point, I'm just trying to really enjoy all this like time that we're having in these like hard times. So
Mm,
it's we've been definitely like kind of making the most of it. It's been pretty good so far for us.
mm. And during the lockdown period, you've managed to become 8-time SmackDown Tag Champ as well.
Hey, didn't even have to leave my house for that one. Didn't even have to leave. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's that these are the times, right? These are the times like we're having matches now that have kind of strange stipulations, but we soldier forward. And I think the thing about WWE is that you always hear the term like put smiles on faces, right? That's what we do. We put smiles on faces. And I feel like now more than ever, it's so important to just kind of give people a sense of escape from whatever it is that's going on outside or whatever kind of fears they have. You turn on the news and you can't stop seeing, the latest update on the virus. Unfortunately, like people losing their lives and things like that. But when you turn on like Raw or SmackDown, we take a lot of pride in being people that are able to provide like a little bit of an escape from all of the uncertainty that's going on outside again. And we like I said, we're happy to kind of bear that burden for people. So it's bittersweet, but again, in an effort to lift people up. Myself, the New Day, that's what we've always been about, is like the power of positivity. And now WWE has always been about putting smiles on faces, and we're all just kind of coming together to do just that, to let people forget. And as we soldier on back towards normal times.
Of course, WrestleMania is kind of the last big event I think that there was in that kind of world, the last thing to watch. And I know it wasn't totally live, but it was sort of as live. And I guess the first time you've ever watched yourself while everyone else has at the same time live.
Yeah, it was very strange. It was different, but I've not gotten the chance to be like a fan in a long, long time. WrestleMania, even though ordinarily we're not involved in and all the other matches, we're kind of sitting there watching the matches as they go on. You're seeing like rehearsals and things like that. So you kind of have an idea of what's going on with the way that we're doing things now, with only having like essential personnel be in the building at certain times when shows were taped for WrestleMania. A lot of the times, like most of the people, like I didn't know what was going to happen, so I didn't know like what was going on. I didn't know what matches were taped. I didn't know like what the ins and outs were, what was going to transpire. But watching it at home, I'm like, oh man, like I know about my match, but now I'm sitting there like watching these other matches, like, oh my god, like as a fan again. So again, from a positive aspect, it was cool to be in that role for sure. But yeah, it's just different, and I think we're just kind of all trying to make the best of these times.
Hmm. How quick did it take you to kind of transition from the sort of, I guess, almost fear or hesitation of going in for WrestleMania to the moment when you thought, right, this is actually an opportunity for me to make positivity for other people. This is an opportunity for us to provide something that they're not getting at the moment. When did the kind of dial change from hesitation to, all right, accepting this sort of burden?
I don't know if I can pinpoint an actual moment, but I think that's always like our role. I think as soon as we were informed that we were going to be going through with WrestleMania in this way, everyone kind of comes together as a team, and you really kind of felt that aspect of it. I think we all realize the importance of what it is that we do, and I had mentioned this in a different interview, and it kind of goes in like a couple of different ways where like, for example, like in the military, we have a lot of work with the armed forces, and we go onto like military bases, and you don't know like really what's gonna like what happened on the battlefield like the day before. You don't know what's gonna happen the day after, you know. But for the time that we are there at the military bases, the smiles are there. You know, we're putting smiles on people's faces, and you're trying to. Like it blows my mind sometimes that people are able to kind of like just distance themselves from all that's going on around them to bring a smile to us. And it's like, oh, well, you know, we're bringing smiles to them. But like, it's always just so amazing to me that people are able to kind of forget. And so to be in that role, to make people forget, like it's something that's it's needed, you know, it's needed to give people a sense of escape. You know, even with like we do a lot of work with Make-A-Wish and a lot of kids who are in a tough spot. And you don't know what kind of a day that they had, even that morning, you know, going through some of the things that they go through. And you don't know what's going to happen the next day. But for the time that we are there next to a child in a hospital bed, it's all smiles. And to be in that role where you are putting a smile on someone's face despite the difficulties that they are going through, it is a very, very powerful thing. So I think that for me, it's important to give people that sense, and for me to be a person who has the ability to do that. It's like it's so important, you know. It's so important. So you embrace it, you know. You embrace it and you do it to the best of your ability.
And talking about sort of helping as much as you can. I know today we're doing this interview through the NSPCC. You're talking about obviously one of the biggest problems that people have at the moment is childcare. It's hard to occupy kids for ages, and it's for the first time a lot of people are having to do homeschooling and things like that. So how have you found it with your personal experiences?
Luckily for me, we homeschool already. So it hasn't really been too much of a change with the exception of myself being home. But yeah, like you were saying, it is a very difficult thing for people who, you know, parents who are forced into a homeschooling situation. Like, you know, it's not easy. Sometimes having to juggle, you know, being on a Zoom meeting with your kids running inside, and then you're, you know, really trying to get some business done, but then you have to make sure your kids are eating lunch and that they're eating healthy and getting all their nutrients and getting their exercise, but then you have to be on a phone call. So it's a lot to juggle for people. And for parents, it can be very stressful as human beings, you know. We're all kind of in a situation where we're winging it. We don't know like what the standard protocol is. We don't know like what you're supposed to do. But the NSPCC's website, if you go there, there's a lot of different tips that will help you as a parent get through these times, and you have a lot of great suggestions for how to deal with like the stresses that this situation is certainly causing, you know. And I think for me, it's definitely one of the partnerships with WWE that I'm most proud of being a part of, because of the work that they do with families and specifically with children with Childline, line where kids who are having problems or may be experiencing some kind of difficulties at home, they can actually pick up the phone and call this number and get help. So to have a safe haven for kids and have a place where kids can go, because there are definitely a lot of kids who go through times and they don't know what to do. They don't know who to tell. They don't know who they can call. But the fact that the NSPCC is providing a line for them to call, I think is an awesome, awesome thing. And a lot of kids will definitely and have definitely benefited from it. So yeah, it's definitely a great, great cause. And definitely, you know, like I said before too, like a needed cause for a lot of people who might be looking for some help and some tips on how to get through these strange times, for sure.
Yeah, definitely. How did your kids enjoy watching you win the tag titles, or Big E win the tag titles for you, with you, if you see what I mean?
Funnily enough, they haven't seen it. They actually haven't seen it. They know that I'm a tag team champion. Again, I haven't opened my bag since I've gotten back. But with our kids, we don't really watch really any screens. You know, we have one TV in the house that we don't have turned on at all. Like they don't even know. I don't even think they know that it works. I don't even know if we've watched movies in this house in this place. So anyway, yeah. But so the only time that they watch wrestling or they watch really any kind of TV is when they go to a show, so that's all the taste that they get. We just lean away from like screen time. We focus more on like the outdoors and being outdoors and, creative learning and stuff like that. But yeah, that's kind of what we do. They're the ungrateful kids. They don't even know what they got in there. They got a champion walking around their house and they don't even know it, So, but no, it's all good. It's all good. They definitely get their fix when we do have like a live event and they get to go and hang out with all the wrestlers. And, we have a lot of like action figures and they kind of make their own matches, and have fun that way. So, yeah, I should let them know that I'm a champion once again so they can appreciate me a little bit more.
Just walk in with the belt. No,
yeah.
Did you enjoy seeing Big E get a moment to shine? Obviously, we've had the sort of, and this word has been used more than any other word in the last 2 months, unprecedented. The unprecedented situation of the tag titles being defended in singles matches. How did you enjoy seeing Big E sort of take his moment when he won the titles the other day and have that sort of shining moment?
I loved it. It was amazing. He has such a great personality. It's always good vibes. And oftentimes, like, I'm in the ring there with him. So it was very strange for me to have to watch, not just from backstage, but from the house, legitimately, and getting to really appreciate what it is that he brings to the table. It's just always so much fun and just great energy. He's such an energetic individual. And just a guy who has all the tools, and the knock on him was before, New Day and before, like when he first started his career was that like, oh, E doesn't have enough personality. Like, I want to find out who said that because nobody on the roster has more personality than E. Like, I stand by that fact. You never know like what he's going to do, like what he's going to say. He's amazing on the mic. An amazing competitor, an amazing athlete, an amazing person, an amazing brother, an amazing friend. So, yeah, anytime I see E getting his shine, it always puts a smile on my face and has a special place in my heart. And hopefully down the line, we can get him a little bit more shine, if you know what I'm saying, So, yeah, we'll see. We just all kind of take it one day at a time and kind of march towards the goal. And hopefully at the end of the day, it ends with Big E as WWE or Universal Champion, Woods with the same, but more so importantly as King of the Ring, because that is his dream. So we're trying to figure out a way just to kind of accomplish all the goals and everything for the New Day. We're really greedy when it comes to success. So, we're going to keep on trucking.
How is Woods doing? He must be in the WhatsApp group or whatever, getting really jealous of you lads having all the big sort of singles moments. And he does now.
Yeah. You know what? Yes, he definitely misses being in the ring, and he's working hard to kind of get back. But at the same time, I feel like he's working harder now than he was when he was on the roster, because now with Up, Up, Down, Down, his YouTube gaming channel, if you haven't subscribed, you go through and subscribe. You know what I'm saying?
There's the plug.
Yeah. He does all things gaming. He's constantly streaming. He's constantly, doing interviews. He's been on Zoom meetings. I think I saw one on his Twitter page or Instagram page, and it had like Neil deGrasse Tyson on there, So I'm like, wait, what? Like, so he's doing all types of things and really keeping himself busy. Even like trying to shoot the podcast. There's a lot of times where like he'll have scheduling conflicts because he's doing like a live stream here or whatnot. So yeah, he's like definitely missing that in-ring aspect for sure. But yeah, he's definitely keeping himself busy beyond a shadow of a doubt. Like, again, like I said, he's probably busier now than he was when he was on the roster doing all these types of things. But he loves it. He loves it. He's doing his passion. And that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
I think we need to see the New Day in one of the kind of like the themed matches, like we had at WrestleMania when there's the Boneyard match or the Funhouse match. Maybe we need like a Booty Yard match.
Yeah, well, if you recall,
a booty house,
a booty yard match might be the way to go. But if you'll recall, we actually had something similar with the Wyatts.
The Wyatts, yeah,
like a while ago. And when they aired it, they put all like these like filters on it and like made it like different. But I feel like if they had aired it in its entirety, the way that we shot it, it would have kind of rivaled that Boneyard match. You know, we had a lot of stuff like that too. Not to take anything away from AJ and Taker, I thought it was incredible. But yeah, the again, like another positive thing about these times is that it's forcing us as WWE to put on matches in a different way. You know, we're having to really think outside the box. So that's why you had that Firefly Funhouse match, and you went through John Cena's whole career, you know, and you had the Boneyard match, and you know, so it's kind of a, like, from an entertainment perspective, it's an interesting time, and we're all trying to make it like a memorable time and a positively memorable time, you know. So yeah, it's been interesting to say the least.
Speaking of thinking outside the box, our social media guys, now that there aren't, you know, lots of sports happening, BT Sports struggling for actual sort of competition. So we've started doing all these polls and things. And Woods actually had a shout on one of these. We've been doing the World Cup of WWE themes. We're down to the semi-finals. We've got Sexy Boy versus I Walk Alone, Batista, obviously.
Ooh,
And then we got Edge versus, so Metalingus versus Cult of Personality.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Who do you have as the two winners on that?
So, oh goodness. I got to go with Sexy Boy because Shawn Michaels is my man, number one. And I know Woods is not going to like that, especially like on our podcast, we had the greatest TV show of all time, and Golden Girls got voted out in the first round, and Woods was mad at me for that. So I think he's probably going to be mad at me for voting out Batista. But the second song, oh dear God, who were the ones again? You said
Edge, Metalingus, and then the Cult of Personality.
I got to go with Cult of Personality, and that is a direct shot at Edge because he took my spot in the Elimination Chamber about 9 to 10 years ago, and he ended up going on to win the the heavyweight title at that time. So yes, this is my payback to Edge by voting him out of your tournament. Yeah.
Have you got any little outside ones as well? Because I think Woods replied to one of the tweets saying Billy and Chuck missed out. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, he
look so good to that one.
Yeah, man. I thought Billy and Chuck, that he's a big Billy and Chuck fan too. One of my favorite themes of all time. Well, so two of them. I don't know. Did you guys have D'Lo Brown's on there?
Do you know what? This is the first thing I thought that was a massive oversight. I used to walk around in like 2004 just doing this.
Shaking the head around.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you better recognize just who I am. Come on, man. That was amazing. But Mark Merrow's song, man, to me, I loved it. I loved it. You know, it's really like generic and just kind of like loops over and over. But to me, I don't know. Then you got like the guitar solo in the middle. So for me, like that, I don't know, man. Mark Merrow is very underrated. It never gets mentioned in like the greatest theme songs. I don't know why, you know, but if you go back and listen to Mark Merrow's theme song, then you'll know what I'm talking about.
I think your Mark Merrow is my Steve Blackman. Steve Blackman just the strobe lights and the drums. And then him doing like karate stuff in the background.
Yep, with the sticks. Yeah. Oh man, there's a lot of them. It's almost impossible to pick, you know? It really is. It's a difficult task.
But for you, it's just not Edge. That's all that matters, right?
It's not Edge. And if it was up to me, I would have voted him out in the first round because of what he did to me at the Elimination Chamber. How dare he? How dare he? And then you know how long I had to wait to get another shot, you know? It's Edge's fault. So if my vote counts, I take Edge's song out. Cult of Personality. As a matter of fact, put him back in the first round and take him out there because that's what he did to me before I even got into the Elimination Chamber. You know, he took me out. So you know what? In March Madness, sometimes you have like the matches to get into the tournament. I would go back in retrospect and take Edge's song and put it in that bracket where he's trying to get into the tournament, and then have him lose that one. So he never got into the tournament to begin with, just like he did to me with the Elimination Chamber when I never even got inside the chamber and he threw me into the stairs and he took my spot. Was my song in there? Was SOS in there? Was the New Day in there at all?
Look, don't.
It wasn't.
I'm not the man.
It
Don't shoot the
wasn't.
messenger.
It wasn't. This is BS. This is BS. So what I would do now, in retrospect, again, is have Edge be in that spot to get into the tournament, and then take somebody. As a matter of fact, take my song, take SOS, or take the New Day song. Either take Air Boom song. It doesn't matter. Whatever it is, take it, and then defeat Edge before he even got into the tournament, just like he did to me. Just like he did to me in the elimination chamber, trying to get in. He threw me into the stairs. I'll never forget that, and I'll never forgive him for that.
But will you forgive us for not putting SOS in there?
No, I'll not forget that either. No.
All right then, Kofi. It's been a pleasure as always, mate. Thank you very much. Look after yourself and keep doing what you're doing.
Right on, man. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, guys.